Picture this: you're walking home, minding your own business, mentally arguing with someone who isn't even there because apparently your brain enjoys producing imaginary debates at full cinematic quality. Everything feels normal, then for no obvious reason your surroundings suddenly feel quiet, not just quiet, wrong quiet. It's as if somebody reached over and turned the world's volume knob down by 20%. No birds, no traffic. No random guy revving his motorcycle like he's trying to intimidate the moon. Just silence. Here's the creepy part. Sometimes your brain notices danger before you consciously do. Long before your logical mind catches up, your nervous system is already scanning thousands of tiny details every second. Movement, sound, facial expressions, smells, patterns. Your conscious brain is basically the office manager. Your subconscious is the paranoid security guard who's worked 3 decades without taking a vacation. It notices everything. Imagine you're hiking through the woods. You don't consciously hear the birds stop singing. You don't consciously notice the wind changing. You definitely don't realize the squirrels have disappeared. But somewhere deep inside your nervous system, a tiny alarm starts ringing. Because animals go quiet for reasons. Predators change environments. Birds don't suddenly stop screaming at each other because they collectively decided today is a meditation retreat. Your ancestors survived partly because they reacted to environmental changes before understanding them. That uncomfortable feeling that something isn't right. Sometimes it's pattern recognition operating below your awareness. Your brain is constantly comparing the present moment against millions of stored experiences. Normally it finds everything boring: tree, road, car, cloud, existential dread, average Tuesday. But when enough tiny details stop matching the expected pattern, it starts waving invisible red flags. This doesn't always mean danger is actually nearby. Sometimes anxiety hijacks the exact same system. That's one reason panic attacks feel so convincing. Your threat detector screams first, evidence shows up, maybe never. It's like having a smoke detector that's emotionally invested in ruining dinner. The fascinating part is how ridiculously fast this happens. Researchers studying threat perception have found your brain can process emotional danger in fractions of a second, often before you're consciously aware of what you're looking at. Someone's face changes slightly, a stranger shifts posture. A car starts drifting into your lane. Your conscious brain is still saying, Meanwhile, your body has already submitted 12 emergency reports. Your heart rate bumps upward, muscles tighten, your pupils widen. Breathing changes. Congratulations. You've become a biological security system that still doesn't know what triggered it. This ability is incredibly useful. Until modern life enters the chat. Because now your brain uses the exact same ancient survival software while reading work emails. Subject line: can we talk tomorrow? Fantastic. Your nervous system interprets that exactly like hearing suspicious rustling in prehistoric bushes. Surely one of these situations contains a hungry predator. Or your manager wants to discuss spreadsheet formatting, basically identical. Sometimes people describe walking into a room and instantly feeling uncomfortable around someone they just met. Later they discover that person was behaving aggressively or manipulating everyone. Did they magically predict the future? Probably not. Their brain likely noticed dozens of microscopic social cues without consciously explaining them: tone of voice, body language, eye movement, timing. Tiny inconsistencies. Humans are surprisingly good at detecting subtle abnormalities, while being absolutely terrible at explaining how they notice them. It's like solving a math problem but forgetting every step except the answer. Then there are situations where silence really is dangerous. Natural disasters sometimes create eerie environmental changes beforehand. Animals occasionally behave strangely before earthquakes. Storms can produce unsettling calm periods. The atmosphere itself can feel different before severe weather. Your senses evolved inside environments where paying attention to weird changes meant surviving long enough to become somebody's ancestor. Ignoring them, well, those family trees ended early. Of course, there's a downside. Your pattern detector loves false alarms. It sees faces in electrical outlets, ghosts in coats hanging on doors, monsters in dark bedrooms. Your brain would rather embarrass you 100 times than miss one genuine threat. Evolution basically designed it like an overprotective parent. Was that shadow dangerous? No. What about that one? No. And that one? It's a lamp. I still don't trust IT. The result is one of the strangest experiences humans have. Nothing visible is wrong. Nothing obvious has happened. Yet every cell in your body quietly whispers, pay attention. Most of the time, nothing follows. Sometimes, however, your subconscious noticed the problem several seconds before your conscious mind finally catches up. Basically, your brain is reading spoiler alerts while refusing to explain the plot. Sweating is already kind of weird when you think about it. Your body literally leaks salty water because the internal temperature spreadsheet says things are getting slightly enthusiastic, normal enough. Then there's the cold sweat. That's when things get creepy. Imagine sitting perfectly still. You're not exercising. You're not standing in the desert. You're definitely not trapped inside a volcano. Yet suddenly your palms become slippery, your forehead feels damp, and somehow you're freezing at the same time. Congratulations. Your nervous system has decided it's emergency season. Cold sweats are closely tied to your body's fight-or-flight response. This system evolved for situations where something with sharp teeth wanted to convert you into lunch. The second your brain believes you're in serious danger, it starts pressing biological panic buttons faster than a toddler discovering elevator controls. Adrenaline floods your bloodstream, heart rate accelerates. Blood flow shifts toward muscles. Digestion gets put on hold because apparently now is not the time to finish processing tacos. Sweat glands activate. Except this sweat feels different. Instead of cooling you after physical activity, it arrives alongside clammy skin and chills because your blood vessels near the skin constrict while your body prepares for action. It's like your internal thermostat had an argument with itself and both sides lost. This response can happen during severe pain, extreme fear, shock, heart problems, low blood sugar, or intense anxiety. Notice how wildly different those causes are. Your body isn't particularly interested in emotional nuance. As far as it's concerned, terror is terror. Whether you're escaping a predator or waiting for your dentist to say, this might sting a little, spoiler, it will. The fascinating thing is that your body often reacts before your conscious thoughts become dramatic. You might suddenly notice your hands are damp, your stomach feels weird, your breathing changes. Only afterward do you realize you've become extremely stressed. It's almost backwards. Your body writes the headline. Your brain reads tomorrow's newspaper. Medical professionals actually pay close attention to unexplained cold sweats because they can sometimes signal serious problems. For example, during certain heart attacks, people don't always experience the dramatic movie-style chest clutch. Sometimes they mainly become nauseated, pale, exhausted, and covered in cold sweat. That's partly why unusual symptoms shouldn't always be ignored simply because they don't match Hollywood's version of medical emergencies. Your body enjoys being creatively inconvenient. Cold sweats also show up during intense infections. When your immune system goes to war, chemicals race through your bloodstream coordinating defenses that would make military logistics jealous. Temperature regulation gets messy. Blood vessels change behavior, hormones surge. Your body becomes an overworked emergency headquarters where everyone keeps yelling different instructions. Then there's blood sugar. Your brain absolutely loves glucose. It's basically that one roommate who eats everyone's groceries and contributes nothing to rent. When blood sugar drops too low, your nervous system panics because the organ running the entire operation is suddenly low on fuel. Adrenaline gets released to help raise blood sugar. One unfortunate side effect, sweating, shaking. Feeling like reality suddenly switched into hard mode. The weirdest part may be how emotional situations can produce almost identical physical reactions. Public speaking, unexpected phone calls. Job interviews, walking into the wrong classroom. realizing you just waved back at someone who wasn't waving at you. Somehow your nervous system responds like survival itself is hanging by a thread. Evolution never updated the software. It still assumes social disaster might equal actual death because, thousands of years ago, getting kicked out of your group genuinely could become a life-threatening problem. Modern embarrassment, ancient consequences, same panic buttons. So the next time your palms suddenly become slippery for absolutely no obvious reason, remember this. Your body has activated one of the oldest emergency systems ever installed in humans. Sometimes it's reacting to genuine medical trouble. Sometimes it's reacting to anxiety. Sometimes it's reacting because you accidentally clicked reply all. Either way, your nervous system is convinced something important is happening. Basically, your sweat glands are filing emergency paperwork before the rest of your body even knows why. Imagine trying to read a menu, but someone slowly starts erasing everything except the middle. The edges disappear first. Then the room feels farther away. Suddenly all that exists is one tiny slice of reality directly in front of you. It's like your eyeballs subscribed to the cheapest version of reality and lost access to peripheral vision. As creepy as it feels, this isn't necessarily your eyes malfunctioning. It's often your brain making a brutally efficient decision. Because when your nervous system believes you're facing immediate danger, it stops caring about the little things. And by little things, it means literally everything except the thing that's trying to ruin your day. Your ancestors didn't need to admire the scenery while escaping a charging animal. Nobody outruns a predator by saying, "Hold on, is that a particularly attractive cloud?" Your brain narrows attention, heart rate skyrockets. Blood gets redirected toward muscles, adrenaline floods the system, vision becomes laser-focused, it's survival mode. Unfortunately, modern life has an incredible talent for activating Stone Age software, a panic attack, a near-car accident, a sudden loud explosion. An unexpected fall, even overwhelming emotional stress. All of these can trigger tunnel vision because your brain isn't asking whether the threat is physically dangerous, it only asks one question. Do we panic now? If yes, congratulations. You're about to experience reality through a biological zoom lens. Police officers, firefighters, soldiers, and emergency responders often describe this phenomenon during high-stress situations. Some report that everything except the immediate threat seemed to disappear. Others say sounds became muffled, almost like someone stuffed cotton into the universe. Time itself sometimes feels distorted, seconds stretch into minutes. Or entire moments vanish altogether. That's because stress changes how your brain processes information. Normally, your brain acts like an overworked movie editor. It cuts unnecessary footage, organizes memories, and stitches together a smooth experience. During extreme stress, that editor quits halfway through the shift, raw footage starts piling up. Some details become incredibly vivid. Others never get recorded at all. That's why eyewitness testimony can be surprisingly unreliable. Two people can experience the exact same event and remember completely different things. Not because either one is lying. Because both brains were busy trying to survive instead of producing a documentary. Tunnel vision also happens for more physical reasons. If your blood pressure suddenly drops, your brain may receive less oxygen-rich blood. Since the visual system is extremely demanding, your vision can begin narrowing. People often describe seeing darkness creeping inward from the edges. That's your body basically saying, "Excuse me, we're having budget cuts." Stand up too quickly after sitting for a long time, and you've probably experienced a tiny version of this. 1 second you're fine. The next second your vision starts fading, your ears ring, and you're wondering whether gravity just received a software update. Usually your blood pressure catches up within seconds, everything returns to normal. But in that brief moment, your brain reminds you that staying conscious requires a surprising amount of maintenance. Migraine sufferers sometimes experience tunnel vision in an entirely different way. Some develop visual disturbances before the headache even starts. Bright zigzags, blind spots, flashing lights, missing chunks of vision. It's bizarre enough that if you didn't know migraines could do this, you'd probably assume your operating system had become haunted. Here's the ironic part. Tunnel vision can actually make dangerous situations worse. By focusing intensely on one threat, your brain may ignore equally important information nearby. That's why people under extreme stress sometimes fail to notice obvious escape routes, additional hazards, or even people standing right beside them. Your brain is trying to help. It's just helping with the enthusiasm of someone who read only the first page of the instruction manual. Athletes train specifically to avoid this, pilots train for it. Emergency workers train for it. Because under pressure, your instincts become incredibly powerful, and instincts are amazing. Right up until they are confidently wrong. Think about how many times you've been startled. Your attention instantly locked onto one thing. Someone saying your name unexpectedly, a glass shattering, a dog barking behind you. For a split second, your entire universe became exactly one event, everything else disappeared. That's tunnel vision in miniature. A tiny reminder that your brain is constantly deciding what deserves your attention. Most of the time, it makes excellent choices. Other times, it decides the spider on your bathroom wall deserves more processing power than your taxes. Basically, your brain is trying to protect you by cropping reality down to the important parts. It just occasionally mistakes a harmless surprise for the end of civilization.